people who want to know what is the Keith Andrew Network, the whole point of my talk show is to show you that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities, and never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be, so prove them and still amount to something.
Hi, I'm Kelly Bishop, and I just got interviewed with Keith Andrew, and I had a great time. Very professional, interesting person, and I highly recommend it.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith Andrew, and this is the 1025. That is right, 1025. As you heard from the recommendation, we have a great guest here, only on the Keith Andrew Network. First question I want to ask you is, what attracted you to begin your acting career?
I would have to say all the glamorous parts that I used to see of it as a kid, and wanting to be on set with people that I admired. So that's probably what drew me to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you first got on the acting set, were you like blown away, or did you have a mindset of, I can do this?
To be honest with you, I am literally still working on myself as far as getting the confidence to audition, perform in front of the camera. It takes a lot of skill and practice to hone in on your craft. So I am learning from some people in the industry that have kind of taken me under their wing and helping me out with that, because this will be my first real acting jobs, that are happening over the next few months here this year. A lot of things were put on hold unfortunately, because of COVID and everything, in 2020. So we're just finally getting things going. I'm trying not to be nervous, because that definitely doesn't help. So what I'm learning from seasoned actors is, you don't want to seem like you're acting. You want it to be as natural as possible. So when you go into a scene or even an audition, you want to go in with all the emotions. So happy, sad, mad, because it could change at any moment, right? So that's, I'm still learning a lot.
No, I agree. And are your kids following in your footsteps?
I mean, a little bit probably in the future, I'm sure.
Oh, I would say it runs in the family.
Yeah, it seems that way.
So the next one I want to ask you is, what is the biggest change you want to make in your acting career?
To take it a lot more serious and really dedicate a lot of myself and my time into making myself better, so I can achieve my goals in this career that I've been trying my whole life.
What are some of the best acting advice you have ever received?
To not give up. If you really want it, to not give up at it.
All right.
Sometimes it takes a very long time to get there. And there's many other celebrities that would attest to that as well. There's a lot of people that are pretty big names that took their entire lives to even get their first role.
I agree. A lot of people actually said they started late in their career.
A lot of people have started late in their career. I started young in my career, but I started honestly as a model. So I was a model first. And then I ultimately wanted to be a performer and a singer, dancer. Those were really my aspirations when I was younger. And then people started telling my parents, oh, your daughter is so beautiful and this and that. And I actually thought I was an awkward kid. I had very low self-esteem, to be honest with you. I got picked on a lot. I was bullied a lot growing up. I was the awkward, very tall, skinny girl flat chested, no body, no nothing, just the skinny thing that looked like olive oil. And they literally would tease me. So I didn't even think I could be like what I saw on TV and the films and in the TV shows and all the pretty girls that I admired on, like the Dukes of Hazzard and Wonder Woman and all these beautiful, strong female characters that I wanted to emulate. When I was younger, didn't even think that was a possibility. I lived in a dream world, so it took me my whole life to get where I'm at. So I'm a completely different person, really, than I was then. I actually wasn't ready to be an actress back then. I truly believe that. I got taken into the modeling industry. I was very successful at that for very many years. I did love it. I still love it. I love taking pictures. I'm good at it. It has helped me, elevate myself and my career a little bit more on social media, being able to be on social media. And the more you put yourself out there, even if it's a selfie, people want to see you every day. And if you build up that fan base like I have over 2,000 followers. That's crazy. I did that on my own. There's people who pay for that. And it's like, I just did that little by little, built up my own following. And now I have like a legit like fan club and people who can't wait to see me and all this stuff. And that feels good. It's like, wow, I really kind of did this on my own. Just love some help from others, but
Yeah, I can
really a
relate.
lot of sacrifice.
I can relate. You can take the shortcut and pay like $10 and they can give you, a lot of spam bots, but that really catches up to you, number one. But you get more satisfaction out of the fact saying, you know what, look at what I created on my own.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
So the next one I want to ask you is sorry, kind of gets my breath. How comfortable are you teaching other people everything you learned?
Oh, I mean, I'm very comfortable with that. I don't mind sharing the spotlight, and I've always been a person to help others. Sometimes that's not reciprocated, unfortunately. And but I would give anybody advice if I had some to offer. If I feel like I have good advice to offer, I'll give it. If I feel like I don't, I won't. But also, we're all individuals. We all have our individuality, and there's so many people that are obsessed with the competition part of this industry that they lose themselves there. It's like, really, if y'all just got together and helped each other out, there's a little piece of the pie for everybody. There's room on the stage for everyone to shine bright, and I'm not about dimming anybody's light to make mine brighter either. So I'm fully supporting all the people that are in the projects that I'm currently working on. I'm truly friends with all of them. Some of them I haven't met yet, but on social media we know each other and stuff like that. So we've just been building up our relationships.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I do apologize. Like I said off the air, I just had, I suffer from acid reflux, so I had to take one of those omeprazoles, and I like the pill ones, but I had to take the dissolvable ones. Now it's my fault. I sort of read the box, and the dissolvable ones taste like shit. So if you see me grab my throat, I'm just fighting off the urge of vomit. So, so that's why I
So
like. That's why I do best, or in case I drink water. I should have taken it
right.
earlier, but I didn't really think, would that have an effect on me? But I like to keep it real. It's uncensored. But the question
I
I
get
want to
it.
ask you is: when you were in college, were you a study nerd or party animal?
Um, I didn't go to a traditional college. You guys need to get out. Sorry about that. I didn't go to a traditional type of college. I actually went to trade schools, and I went to modeling school. So, but I'm a very good student actually when I'm learning things that I want to learn, if that
Right.
makes sense. We have a little bit in common. from the little bit that I do know about you, I was placed in a lot of learning disability classes in my youth. And actually, I never even had a learning disability. I just don't learn like other people. And I also like to immerse myself in books and things that I want to learn about. So I got a bad rap for being a problem child when I just really didn't know what to do with all that energy. And, I like to learn on my own in my own ways. So we did have that in common.
No, I agree. For an example, if someone gave me like, I don't know, a multiple choice question on this card, I would say, okay, well, question one, multiple choice. Can you read it to me? Can you give me an example? Can you like break it down? Because I learn at a slower pace. I fall under the spectrum of being retarded because I learn at a slower pace, and people are like, look, people are not going to read things to you. People are not going to take the time to explain this or spoon feed this to you. You need to be, I can't snap my fingers, but you have to be quick. You have to do this right away. You have to do it. Someone says jump, you say jump. You just jump. You just don't say how high. So, for me, when I do it's like a test, it's like, okay, it's better for me to do things. Yeah, I know a lot of people make fun of me for saying this, and I don't mean it in that kind of way. I do things better when it's hands on. If you teasing me, like, here's this, okay, now I will copy what you do, it will sink in more. If you're just gonna throw something at me, it's like, go read this and go figure it out, you're setting yourself up for failure.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
So
And
then,
I can learn almost anything. I did go to different schools. I went to school for aesthetics as well. So I held a 10-year license in as an esthetician in Illinois, and I worked in the spa industry for 10 years, and I did very well at that. And I learned a lot of things about the skin and organs and blood and germs and viruses and all that kind of cool stuff. And I got my degree at that. So that was pretty cool. And then I took some food science courses and learned about food science and also bacterias and foodborne illnesses and more germ stuff and more stuff that'll creep you out and not make you want to eat out anywhere. And so, I do like to educate myself. I'm kind of like a nerd, a real pretty nerd, I'm told, and I like to learn about different things. I actually have more classes I want to take and more things I want to learn about. Even if I don't get a degree from it, I just kind of want to learn about these things. And when you get the money to do this kind of stuff, like I'm into geology big time, rocks, crystals, the origin of them, digging for them myself. Like I have so many plans to do stuff with that. I've always been into that since I was a kid, and also architecture, building, like things that most people will look at me and go, "No way." Yeah, it's just like my drive to do different stuff and achieve it. Or if I fail at it, at least I can say I tried it. And I'm happy and proud that I tried something that most people thought I was crazy to try. Like building my house that I plan on doing here within the next year or two. I'm trying to build my own home out of hempcrete and all natural materials. And got to do it myself with a little bit of help with the things that I need help with, things that I don't have a lot of knowledge in, like electricity and stuff like that. But my plan is to buy a piece of land and just start doing it. Like I'm just going to start doing it soon.
yeah, it
It's
sounds
kind of
really interesting, and I hope it works out.
thanks to me too.
So the next question I want to ask you is, what is your biggest accomplishment and what is your biggest failure?
My biggest accomplishment, hands down, are my children. And one of my biggest failures this far, but to this point, I would say is I wouldn't say failures really, but my love life, my romantic life. I don't seem to get that right.
Yeah, I'm still single and I'm still looking for the right one.
Well, I just got divorced and I thought that was going to be forever, especially getting married in my 40s. So, nope, that was definitely not forever. Forever turned into only 7 years. So,
I mean,
I can't seem to get past 7 years with a love. So I've been in love a couple times.
yeah, my brother used to have like his first wife. He said, "Well, what do you think of blah blah blah?" I'm like, "Oh, she's okay. She's not my type." And it's his exact words, right? Yeah, yeah. I used to go out for the looks. Now I can just take whatever I can get. I mean, like, shit, with that attitude, you're setting yourself up for failure. It,
No kidding.
and I'm not saying I'm no prize myself because I have a disability. And that's number one. And I don't know if anyone who would want to go out with someone who has a disability. But also, when you first see someone, you're like, oh, they're good looking, they're attractive. And you see these women, oh, she aids like, I give you an example, Trish Stratus, one or Holly Berry. They age like fine wine. Then you look at someone else, like you age like milk.
Yeah, I get
So
that all the time. I mean, most people think I'm in my late 20s, early 30s, and I'm like, I'm almost 50. And most people do not believe me. And like this is the real deal. Like I don't have a ton of makeup on, and all my pictures are not filtered. I try to keep it as real as possible. This is all my real hair. I mean, I I like that about myself though, and I'm not putting nobody down that decides to do things or whatever. But that's just not me. I want to be as real as possible, and I'm not trying to get plastic surgery or anything to look younger. I am very blessed with good skin and everything, and it's genetics. No matter what you do, I don't care how much money you spend on yourself or how many thousands of dollars of serums you put on. I do the same thing, but it is not going to change your DNA code.
I,
DNA is 90% of your looks and how you age. The rest is environmental and things you put in your body. If you don't eat right and don't drink enough water and don't get enough rest and you smoke and you drink and you do drugs and forget it, you're done. And unfortunately, that's a lot of the young people today. And they let themselves go and they eat very poor diets and they want to go to the drive-throughs and Chick-fil-A and this and that, and then they wonder why they weigh 200 pounds, and it's just sad.
there's a lot of videos online, and it's stupid because, oh, I'll give you an example. If you do like educational stuff or things for entertaining, for me, I'm like, hey, I'm a talk show host who happens to have a disability, and you want to make a difference, or occasionally you want to do like, I'm a big fan of Dumbo and Jumbo Luck and Human Pyramid challenges. That's fine. It's entertaining, and you get people entertained because you want to take that 15, 20 minutes of your day. If you're having a shitty day, you just want to sit back and you say, you know what, I want to see something to take my mind off it. But there's some videos you're on there, like there's this stupid one from New Hampshire about I was watching before you came on. Um, they looked like they went to a ranch or some crap like that, or like they're in a
Mhm.
park and a pit bull is going after a horse. And I go, who the hell wants to see that? Or do you have another one where this, you talk about, fat kids. You talking about this kid who really needs to befriend, what was it? What is the defendant? Not Ben and Jerry, but this, it's this heavyset kid, and he has a
Yeah.
video called "My Dad Goes on a Warpath" or "My Dad Smashes Things." I'm like, this is the problem. You have the internet, and it's filled of
Oh, yeah.
stupid minus crap. And I give you an example. There's some wrestlers who I want to have on my show, and I
Mm-hmm.
see them on other shows. And it's like, for an example, this guy's like, oh, who's a douchebag? And or who's a hoe bag? And then they're like, Kevin Ass would go off for us, nice person, asshole, nice person, asshole. And I'm like, okay, well, that's pretty interesting. But then the guy would go on another segment, and it's kind of like, it gives me motivation saying, I'm going to do my show better because I want it to be like Bill Maher, funny and entertaining and
Mm-hmm.
spontaneous instead of repeating the same questions over and I mean, I'm guilty of that. Same questions over and over, but you want it to be, real. You want it to feel like a connection, but you're connected with me. You're connected with the audience. That if you can connect with the audience, they know that you're real. If you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to be phony, you're gonna see through it.
Well,
But
yeah.
it's kind of like in that backyard wrestling. Hey, let's light the table on fire. Let's do this. Let's do stupid things. It's kind of like why? It's what's the purpose? I'm not saying everything should have a purpose to it. It should, you walk a fine line of saying this is interesting, it's entertaining. Okay, if you're gonna say,
Right.
"Oh, let's get my dad mad and see him go on a warpath and drive into someone else's car," it's kind of like, you know what?
I
This is
know.
you can't fix
I
stupid,
can't
right?
even watch some of that stuff. I can't even watch it.
But the other question I want to ask you is, do you have any funny stories you like to share, or any funny pranks you pulled on people?
Hmm. Funny stories. God, I wish I had a recent funny story.
Or
Pranks. I'm not a big prankster. I wish I was. I think that stuff's funny. My son is a prankster. My oldest son is a prankster. Let me think though.
anything that you did recently where you thought, you weren't paying attention, you just saw something, you grabbed it, then realized I shouldn't have used that.
Oh my God. When my little dragon, I have a bearded dragon, right? And I thought she was missing this morning. I just like looking all over for her. I said, "Oh my God, where is she? Where is she? Where is she?" And I went to grab the blanket and it was her tail right there. And I was like, "Oh my God, thank God I didn't grab her too hard because I hopefully wouldn't have hurt her, but I don't know because I'm new to this pet, right? Like she's a new bearded dragon in our house and I'm all like, it's like having a newborn baby. Like you don't know what to do with this thing. And then I got her a whole bunch of crickets. So yeah, actually, this is funny. This happened today. I got a whole bunch of crickets, and I wanted to distribute half of them and then save half of them without them dying, right? So they could only live in the bag thing for so long. They put them in this big bag with some air blown into it. And I asked her, I said, "Well, what can I do?" She's like trying to sell me this little tiny little insect holder that I could get at the dollar store for like $10. I'm like, "No, wait, I'll figure something out." And so I go home and I have this empty eggshell carton. I said, "Oh, that'll work." So I go, this is actually really funny. I opened up the bag and I put like half of them, okay, into her enclosure. And she's a hunter, so she's eating them all. I'm like, all right, she's had enough. So I closed the bag up and I had about half a dozen left in there or so, maybe a few more. And I said, okay, I'm going to put them in this eggshell carton and I'm going to just keep them in the garage. I'll poke a couple holes in here. They'll be okay. So I poke a couple holes, thinking they'll get air. There's room to move around in there. They'll at least be good for 24 hours. I can feed her the next half tomorrow, right? Oh no. I go about my day after getting them in the carton successfully, which I thought would be the hard part. No, wasn't the hard part. I got them in there. Shut the carton. I'm like, okay, it doesn't looking around. They can't get out. So I thought. I go about my day. I come back a couple hours. I decided to give her a little more food. I told my son, I said, you may as well just give her the rest of these. They may not last till tomorrow. I'd rather not waste the $4. Okay, Mom. So I go to get them, out of the egg carton and bring it in the house. And I notice it's kind of light. I'm like, wait a minute, where are they? And I open it. There was only like 2 in there. Then they jump out and they're going everywhere. I'm like, oh my God. I'm calling my son. I'm trying to catch these little crickets. And I see them going in the cracks of my washing machine. I said, no. So I opened up the lid and they're all in there. They were crawling out the whole day and going inside the washing machine, trying to escape. So my son and I are wrangling all these crickets, trying to catch them all inside the washing machine, and put them back in the bag, in the box or whatever. And we're like, forget it. Let's just get them as many as we can and put them back in the tank. And if some escape, oh, well, I guess they're survivors. They won. So that actually was a really funny story today. See, how fast I forget.
The stupidest thing I did recently, I work outside and I train dogs in my free time. And it's like we're originally using a spray, the off spray because there's a lot of bugs. So I was spraying myself. So on Friday, I wasn't thinking. I opened the cabinet and I saw it's you can say I had a blonde moment that I saw insect repellent. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's like off. So I sprayed it on my clothes and the guy's like, did you just do that on your clothes? And it's like, yeah, well, I didn't touch my skin. That's poison, right? But why is it in the end? It's, so that's, he was annoyed and I apologized. Like, well, you should have had it out there, man.
Oh
and
my
plus
God.
everyone said, well, you should have read the thing before you did that. Hey, that was my...
this is true. This is life lessons.
No, it's true. I thought insect repellent. Oh, and that's similar to off. So I sprayed luckily I didn't spray my skin. But you know what?
Yeah.
Yes, it is what it is. I hate the expression, it is what it is, but it's a learning experience. So luckily, knock on wood.
Sometimes it is what it is.
That's true. I don't mean to do stupid things. It's just when I see something, I'm like, oh, bro, it's insect repellent, whatever. There's some sprays, you spray around yourself, keep the bugs off, whatever. So I was under the impression that's what it was. I didn't realize it was it's not like I sprayed myself with hornet spray or black plague.
Right.
It could have been a lot.
Right, I get you. I mean, it could happen to anybody, I guess. I've had some moments.
That's true. Now, I do have a couple questions for you off the air, but wrapping up our interview segment, I'm going to ask you my last question. When I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what made you say yes? How do you feel now? And would you recommend it to other people?
What made me say yes was I thought it was a very nice approach that you had. I'm open to helping others, like I had said earlier, and that's about it. And get myself out there a little bit more too. There's a little bit of selfishness in there. I admit it, but that's okay. It was all in good fun, and I enjoyed our conversation very much. So, and I sure would recommend someone else to be on your little network.
Yeah, absolutely. You're making a new friend out of it, supporting a good message. But with that being said, I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But this will be played on Facebook, LinkedIn, all social medias. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're watching. I would like to interact with you, or host would like to, I guess, obviously, the host would like to interact with you, the guests as well. So leave a comment, both of us will interact with that. With that being said, until we meet again, catch you later. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.